Those of you who follow me on Instagram or even follow me on Facebook already have an idea about what's coming. So I'm not going to do my usual little intro thing because I feel like it would be tacky. I'm going to do my hey everybody now. So hey everybody. This video is about what's been going on in my personal life. So the past year was kind of rough, and many of you may not have realized it because I've always kind of put a brave face on for my Instagram, and I've put a brave face on for my YouTube, and I kind of believed that if I just pushed through it and didn't really focus on it, I could kind of just forget about it. And what am I specifically talking about? Well, in the end of March of last year, I experienced sudden onset of anxiety. Except for I didn't know it was anxiety, so I legit thought that I was having a heart attack. I dropped my son off at school and I'm driving home, and all of a sudden it feels like my heart is stopping in my chest. Like my whole chest was tense. I felt like my whole body was just depleting of oxygen, depleting of blood. I honestly thought that I was dying. I pulled over my car. I called up the ambulance. The ambulance came, took me to the hospital. Hospital couldn't find anything wrong with me. So what they did was they put like a heart monitor on my chest, and I still have a scar on my chest from where the latex that I had to keep putting it on and off with, like it had to stick literally to my chest. I still have a scar from the latex. Latex was literally pulling my skin off. So I had to do that for a week. On the final day that I was supposed to return it, by the way, that week was hell. Like my heart was constantly palpitating. I was just living in constant fear, and I had no idea what it was. I just thought that like, yes, I'm dying, and hopefully they'll figure out what I'm dying of. So at the end of that week, literally the day I was supposed to return this damn thing, suddenly I have one of these huge bad attacks, and I took the thing off already, and it's like it wouldn't stop. Like it was hours long, and everything I googled about panic and anxiety was like, no, a panic attack will last like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you'll be fine. Like I'm like, okay, it's obviously not that, it's hours long, something is seriously wrong. So I got home, and all of a sudden it's like everything went black for me. Like I was sitting on the edge of my bed, and all of a sudden my eyes went black. I thought I was passing out. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I'm sorry, excuse my language, but it's like I didn't know what was going on. It was very odd for me. You know, my blood pressure was up, my heart was beating, my face was flushed, and now all of a sudden I can't see. And when my vision finally came back, half of the vision in my upper left eye was gone. Like it was just gone. It was really scary. So obviously I called the ambulance. So I wound up back at the hospital, and they admit me for about 3 days because when the ambulance came, apparently my blood pressure was over 210. It was an absurd like stroke level amount, and they immediately put me on oxygen. It was bad. So I was speaking to my friend on Facebook, and I'm just like, you know, I can't see out of the top of my eye. Something's really weird. It's like there's a bar. It's like I don't know what's going on. And usually I have like this WebMD hypochondriac thing where I always Google like what's wrong with me, and for some reason I didn't think to Google what was wrong with me because I was convinced that I was dying of a heart attack, and I just never thought. So he told me that I should see a doctor immediately, and that really concerned me, especially since I was in the hospital for 3 days already. I was like, okay, let me make this a point. So I made sure to tell them like, hey, I need to see an eye doctor right away. They kept pushing it off, like, no, you'll see a eye doctor when you leave. You'll see. I was like, no, I want to see one while I'm here. I want to see one right now. They bring me downstairs upstairs to the eye doctor, and it turns out that I have a detached retina. They had the doctor look at it, and then immediately the next morning they have the surgeon look at it. After the surgeon looked at it, she's like, you need emergency surgery. So in my head I'm thinking, okay, this will just be a quick eye surgery. Like what's the worst that can happen? It'll be quick eye surgery. And then I started Googling it, and that's when I became terrified, because according to what I was reading, like worst case scenario, it's like you never get your eyesight back, or it just keeps happening. Like I was like, oh my god, this is not going to be me. And everybody in the world was like, no, it's not going to be you, everything's going to be fine. Even other people who had this happen in the beauty community had actually reached out to me via Instagram and told me, no, everything's going to be fine. It's happened to me too. So I started to feel like everything would be fine. Now the surgery is this insane surgery called a vitrectomy. I'm about to get real sciencey on you guys. It's called a vitrectomy, and basically what they do is they put 3 holes into your eyeball. It's real gross, with like needles and stuff, and they have gauges. And I still have scars. If you can see here, I have a scar. I hope you guys can see it. It's like black. I don't want to gross you guys out, but I still have scars, and basically they do that and they pull all the gel like liquid out of your eye. They go in with like a laser beam, and they laser up the back of your retina to your actual eyeball. Sounds simple, right? Except for where they laser, that's permanent vision loss, like forever, ever. And then what they do is they put a gas bubble in my eye to kind of hold the retina, that thin membrane of like cones and rods that actually interprets like what you see. Gas bubble to hold it in place. Now, in order for the gas bubble to work, because you know gas would go like this, I had to keep my head literally parallel with the ground, meaning my head completely straight down for 10 days. I mean, sleep like this, walk like this, eat like this, 10 minutes every hour, that's it, that's all the heads up I get. Horrible. So I had to do that to keep my retina flush against the back of my eye. So if you're wondering, like, how does that just happen? How do you just have a panic attack and then all of a sudden your retina's like, you know, blowing a hole like a cheap tire? Like, how does this happen? Well, apparently if you are really, really nearsighted, meaning like you need glasses to see far away, I'm talking like really, really nearsighted, you can develop something called a degenerative myopia, which means basically that your eyes continue to get bad or worse for vision far away every year. Turns out I have that. And also because of that, your eyeball is getting longer and longer because it compensates for the vision that you don't have, and this stretches out your vision, this stretches out your retina, causing lattice degeneration. You don't want the word degenerative or degeneration within anything that involves health, because it basically means like say goodbye to it. So what that means is that my retina is pretty much like Swiss cheese, and it's all stretched out and looks like lace. It's not good at all. So that happened. So now I'm down 10 days, and then suddenly my doctor tells me that she's starting to see PVR. If you don't know what PVR is, it is an aggressive form of scar tissue. So basically the cells from behind the retina come out in front of the retina, sit on the retina, and make like a web-like fiber structure, and they pull at the retina, tearing it right off of the back of your eye again. I was actually filming a video for YouTube when I noticed it happening. So I'm sitting there and I'm filming this tutorial for Douce, D-O-U-C-E, I forgot the name of it. I was filming a tutorial for that. I think it was a Mother's Day tutorial. So I'm recording this video and I'm like constantly checking my eye, thinking I'm crazy. I'm like, oh my god, maybe it's my eyelash, because I still have that where I'm like, I think my eyelash is a detachment in my right eye. And it was just like this thing flapping, like it looked like a hand swimming in the water, and I'm like, okay, this is really weird. But I pushed through and I kept recording my video, my tutorial, and I recorded like 3 more videos because I don't know what's wrong with me, but I just kept recording. And then after that, I was like, I think I should go to the hospital. So I called 911, the ambulance came, I was taken to the hospital, and I tried to explain to them like, hey, I think I'm having a retina detachment. And it's such a rare thing that people will look at you like you're insane when you tell them like, oh, I think I'm having a retina detachment. They're like, no, you need no, hypochondriac crazy lady. Like, no, I'm having one. So they did a quick little sonogram on my eye, and it turned out like, hey, yep, you're having a retina detachment. You're having it, yep. So they basically told me we're gonna have to schedule an emergency surgery. I went to the city to see my doctor because she wasn't at her normal office, and she confirmed, yep, you're having a detachment, you'll have an emergency surgery today. So I went to the New York Eye and Ear Infirmary, had my surgery, where they treat you basically like cattle. They line you up and you're all in your surgery gear, you're all sitting there in a line, you're being called in. It was horrible. Never ever go there. It was terrible. And then after the surgery, by the way, instead of putting a gas bubble in my eye, they've now put a silicone oil bubble. Not bubble, but like they filled my eye with silicone oil, which is a better cast and helps to slow down the progression of PVR, like I mentioned before. So after my surgery, I'm on the table, and they did just a local, so I was kind of like in twilight, but still, you know, I'm all foggy, and I'm like, oh, I can't really see because I'm not wearing my contact in this eye. And I got an eye patch on this eye, so I'm a disoriented pirate. And the nurse is like, oh, you know, I can't help you up because you're too big. So I'm feeling like really upset about this because I'm like, I need help. She calls the security guard, real nasty. The security guard actually helps me out of the stretcher. I'm given a cookie and some apple juice, and I'm sent on my way. So it really wasn't the nicest place. Also, by the way, I tried to bring up all of these panic attack concerns to my primary physician, and she just dismissed it because I was like, I have no appetite and blah blah blah. And she was like, oh well, because you're so big, meaning because I'm overweight, she kind of dismissed my concerns because she's like, you can't be having these problems, you can't be having appetite or anxiety or depression problems because it's not showing on you calorically. So, you know, even if your doctor tells you, oh, don't worry about it, sometimes you need to push for it, is basically what I'm making with that point. So I go home and I'm like, okay, you know, I'm gonna live with this little silicone bubble. The next day I see my doctor, I can actually see out of it, I'm feeling happy, like all my peripheral is gone, but I can still kind of see out of it. Now, one of the biggest issues with this surgery is that you form a cataract, and it's very fast forming. So within a month, my vision became completely hazy. Like imagine like the dirtiest, foggiest window. That's what it looks like seeing out of my left eye. Time went on. I actually went to Ipsy's Gen Beauty in Toronto, had an amazing time, and I'm actually in the hotel, and I'm in the fancy pervert bathroom. If you don't know what that is, it's a bathroom where it's like, instead of there being a wall where the toilet bowl is, it's a window that only the people on the outside have access to, like blinds. Really weird, I'm telling you, fancy perverts. So I'm in the fancy pervert bathroom, and I'm looking at my hand, and all of a sudden I'm like, my hand is black and white. Like, I can see color all around, but my hand specifically was black and white. So it was really, really, really weird. I get back to New York, and sure enough, on my son's birthday, on his 7th birthday, I'm told, your scar tissue is pulling on your retina, and it hasn't detached. It hasn't torn, but it is detached. That's why you're seeing black and white. So I'm like, okay, the very next week I have to have surgery again. She did both of my eyes because I had a hole in my right eye, and she was waiting for my left to stabilize, but it wasn't stabilizing, so she just did 2 eyes, and I did general anesthesia. I was intubated, wasn't breathing on my own, like I had a tube down my throat, like serious 4-hour-long surgery on both of my eyes. This one she didn't have to cut into, she just had to do a laser 360. It's extremely painful procedure to be awake for. When I was awake for it, when she tried to do it on my left eye, I was hysterical, crying the entire time, and you have to sit there moving your eye in any direction that she needs you to. So it's extremely painful. It's not like laser on the front. It's like, like someone's stabbing you in the back of your eye. It's extremely, like, mortifyingly painful. So she did it when I was asleep. After that surgery, I lost vision close-up reading in my right eye. So I was walking around with like reading glasses here and sunglasses here because sunlight bothered me. It was horrible. Once I was able to, after the 10 days, because every time I have the surgery, it's 10 days face down. So this was the 3rd time I had the surgery, meaning I've spent 30 days with my face down, pretty much immobile. That's pretty much a whole month because of these surgeries. I got invited to San Francisco's Gen Beauty, and I was like, you know what, it's in a week. I'm gonna go. So I decided that once I had my face up, literally in a split-second decision, I decided to drive across the country. So I drove across the country because I was like, God damn it, if I'm gonna go blind, I'm gonna fucking see this country. I was like, I'm gonna see everything. I'm gonna see all the monuments, and I'm gonna go see the wild horses. I'm gonna see the big bluffs like on the Cars movie. I'm gonna see that. I wanna see, I wanna see all the 4 states at once. I wanna see the Golden Gate Bridge. I wanna sing along to the Full House song. I wanna do all that stuff. So I did it. I just went and I did it. I had Mexican food in Texas. I went to New Mexico, Arizona. I literally visited 23 states in a week and a half. I did it. I made my dream come true. And I did it with only the use of faraway vision and some reading glasses and glasses. Like, I was wearing 2 sets of glasses. And I kind of just pretended like nothing was wrong, because that's how I've been getting through this, by pretending like absolutely nothing is wrong, and I've done pretty much a good job at it. So recently, this brings me to this video, is because I'm about to have my 4th surgery. You're probably watching this after I've had my surgery, because I've created so much content that you guys can watch here on YouTube and also check out on Instagram. This way, when I'm face down and I'm unable to do anything, even for the time after that when I'm unable to apply makeup to my face, I have enough content to get me through to make it like this never happened, like pay no attention to the man behind the curtain kind of stuff. So I have that set up, but basically I am scared shitless because now I'm having the surgery and they're removing the silicone oil that they put back in my eye after my last surgery, and they're also doing more laser, which means more permanent, vision loss, because I only have like a little bar, like I have a sensor bar left of vision, which is extremely foggy. And so they're going to be doing scar tissue removal, laser, oil removal, gas bubble insertion, and cataract surgery. 5 surgeries all in one. Get intubated, general anesthesia, all that stuff. So I'm pretty scared and pretty depressed. Like, I'm past midnight now, so I can't even eat anymore, and I'm really thirsty. I'm probably gonna sneak some water. So I think that's why when a lot of you started asking me, like, what surgery? What's going on? Are you okay? It's because I think I've concealed it just so good that, like, nobody really knew what was going on. There were a few posts on my Instagram that kind of gave it away. So if you scroll back to, I don't know, like, when it first started happening, early April, May, July, you'll see a few posts where it's like I'm hiding my eye like this, because I believed that even if I had to be face down, and even if I couldn't apply makeup literally to this eye, I was like, I'm still gonna push through, I'm still gonna work, I'm still gonna deliver content. And it's like, I just believed that if I didn't focus on what was going on, I could just kind of get over it. And I said that before, but it's really, really true that I just threw myself into work, because I just didn't want to focus on what was going on. So that brings me to the title of this post, which is what it's like being a blind beauty vlogger, because as of right now, I'm legally blind in my left eye, and it's been so hard. You would have no idea how hard it is to relearn certain things. Like, if you think winged liner or a cut crease is hard, unhooded eyes, mind you, if you think that's hard when you have both eyes, imagine if you only have one eye. So it's like when I do my makeup, I can't close this right eye completely. By the way, I have no peripheral vision in my right eye either. It's terrible. So it's like I can't close this eye. So it's like I'm constantly trying to do my winged liner and my lashes while kind of keeping this one eye open because I can't see anything out of this eye. It makes doing the most simple tasks really hard. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've gone to pour a drink and I'm like pouring it all over the counter, or I'm trying to do something with my hair and I'm grabbing and it's like I don't know what I'm grabbing at. You have no idea how hard it is, but I believe that, like, with anything, the more practice you put into it, the better you can get. So it's like I've received a lot of criticisms. Like, a brand reposted one of my videos and I felt really happy about it, and then somebody commented on it and they were like, oh, well, this isn't the caliber of this brand, you know. And I'm just like, I felt so horrible because I worked so hard for that video, and knowing that I've had like this kind of handicap, I just felt like, wow, I did my best with my handicap and I'm still being crapped on. Mind you that they didn't know about my issue, but still, it's like, I don't think it's nice to be trolls to anyone like that. It's just rude. So the takeaway from this video is that if you don't see me if you don't see me commenting back, or maybe I'm not getting back to you right away, it's probably because I'm having such a hard time recovering. Like I said, I'm gonna be face down, looking at the floor, sleeping that way, living that way for literally 24 hours a day, except for a few minutes every hour. That is going to be my existence. So I will either be all about the internet, or I might have times where I'm just like, I can't deal with the internet. But I'm still going to be posting content because I have everything set in a timer, set in an app, ready to be posted. So you'll still be seeing stuff from me, even if I'm not there. I'm like a ghost. I'm behind the curtain. I'm gonna miss you all, of course, because, you know, while I recover, it's hard. If I don't see my normal chipper self, if I'm not commenting with tons of hearts and smiley faces, it's probably why. Don't ever take it personally. It's just been my own private struggle, and it's coming to like this apex where like this may be the last surgery. Of course, I have a risk of it happening for the rest of my life. I have a higher risk of it happening in my right eye. I could go blind in the future, which I hope I don't, but it's like, if I don't see Miss Chipper, that's probably why. And I just appreciate any support that you guys can give. Love, positive vibes, thoughts and prayers. Like, I know that like you guys can't physically do anything for me, but I appreciate all the kind thoughts and all the kind words. Like, they really get me through these times. Like I said, I throw myself into work because it helps me get my mind off this stuff. So when I see you guys commenting and sending such positive words to me, it just makes a world of difference, and it just lifts my spirits out of like the depths of despair, the abyss that it goes into during these times. So I just wanted to say thank you guys and explain to you what's been going on in my life and what's been going on for the past year. And I'm happy to be back on YouTube more full-time, you know, more consistently. So I'm not going to change that just because I'm having the surgery. Trust me, I filmed like 20 videos in the past 4 days, so trust me, you guys are covered for a couple of weeks. You are good. Don't worry, I've got you guys covered. I was thinking about you guys more than I was thinking about like my surgery. I'm like, don't worry, I've got content. So I'm gonna finish this video up now because I've talked your ear off. So if you enjoyed this video, not that you would enjoy like hearing sad stories, but if you enjoy my content in general, be sure to like this video, I guess. Be sure to subscribe, and if you aren't already, please head over to my Instagram, where I'm posting reviews, swatches, face looks with my makeup recipes. That's what I call it, where I have a list of all the products I used and the brands they come from, so you have an exact play-by-play of what my looks can, you know, what my look is about, without having to watch, say, a whole 18-minute YouTube video. You can just go there for some, you know, compact content from me. So go over there. It's at Recycled Stardust. Here is my username. There will be a link in the info section if you'd like to go check that out, and if you'd like to follow me. And as always, guys, I just wanted to thank you for your support, and of course, thank you so much for watching.